Hello everybody, and welcome to the Wench Bench, where friends sit and talk about fabulous fictional females and how their stories have influenced us throughout our lives. My name is Alison.
And my name is Fonda.
And today, Fonda is going to be talking about Shuri from Black Panther.
Yes! I am talking about Shuri. Specifically, I will be talking about her from the movie. I know she's in the comics, but I haven't read any of the ones with her in it.
Yeah.
Because, to be quite frank, I just, COVID hit. I don't personally want to go places, and if I can't get it online, and it's not fucking region locked, or like some of them are like, I don't know, it's weird, and you're like, oh, I can get the first 3 issues, but how come issue 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
They want to get you to buy them.
I know. So I'm like, I'll just talk about her in the movie, because I think that's also where some people got to know her from.
Yeah.
And like, I know I'm interested in learning more about her.
Yes.
It'll come with time.
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And apparently Marvel has like a subscription-based thing now where you can get like access to reading the comics online, and you pay like a monthly fee, just like Netflix.
Okay, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. So
giving more people access.
Yeah, because sometimes if you want to read a lot, it can get really expensive to buy them in product, and I just think that they're generally trying to figure out how to get people to read more comics, because their sales are definitely
lower,
but
yeah, more people look on their phones, their tablets, and their computers.
Yeah.
Like, I see so many people that don't physically have books to read.
Yeah.
So if you can give them an app where it's like, oh, I could read this on my phone.
Yeah. I mean, depending on who you ask, too, they've kind of mishandled a couple things in regards to, like, cinematic universe to, like, in-comic universe, and they haven't done the best job in, like, taking the movie fan base and transferring it to comics, but hopefully that'll come in time, and hopefully they'll kind of figure it out.
Yeah. Before I talk about her, at the time that I was researching her, literally like a couple weeks after Chadwick Boseman, who plays the Black Panther, he died.
Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge the fact that if it wasn't for him and the cast and the crew and everyone who helped work towards making the Black Panther movie be really, really great, I don't know if I would have gotten to see this cool female fictional character. And I know that wherever this series goes next, I will be interested to see how they portray her without her big brother, because I think she did really great. I would hate to see them just recast everything. Yeah. Because sometimes it happens if an actor dies. It's either like the series is done or they try to recast someone.
Yeah. I hope they don't end the series. Because
I don't either.
Here is the evidence. Here are the receipts. This movie was extremely profitable and clearly was filling a void that they did not have. As far as like representation and storytelling goes. So I do really hope that they don't just like
be like, it's a one and done now.
Yeah. So hopefully they get into it. I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it if they gave her the Black Panther suit.
Oh, it would be interesting because she'd be able to test her own stuff. But yeah, so before I talk about it, again, I just wanted to like acknowledge that he passed away of colon cancer.
Yeah. He was such a nice guy. All the interviews seemed like he was just so kind, and the actress Letitia Wright and him seemed to have a really awesome connection
on screen
and in their interviews and stuff. They just always seemed like they were having fun. So
anyways, I would like to get into general information.
Yes.
So for most people, I'm sure most of listeners, if you haven't watched Black Panther, it is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is comics. It's based in Wakanda, a fictional country, and the Black Panther isn't just a superhero, it's also a king. It's like a title. It's like the figure in Wakanda who protects its people, and Shuri is the sister within this universe. So, as Alison mentioned, the actress Letitia Wright portrays Shuri in the MCU. The character herself was created by writer Reginald Hudlin and artist John Romita Jr. Now, I know that her first comic book appearance was in Black Panther Volume 4, issue number 2 in 2005 of May. Shuri herself is a princess, again, of the fictional African kingdom of Wakanda.
Mm-hmm. Now a Disney princess.
Yes. She is the daughter of T'Chaka and sister of T'Challa, who is the king of Wakanda during the MCU and the Black Panther. And again, it's an earned title and rank given to the paramount chief of the nation. So Shuri is the leader of the Science and Information Exchange divisions in Wakanda.
Yes.
And she's like, I'm not sure about the comics, but in the movie, she's appears to be like younger.
She's pretty young from what I remember. Not
teenager, but I feel like, again, the MCU website is different age-wise from the comics. So I'm not sure what you would say her canon age is, but I would say between like early 20s to late 30s.
Yeah, I think she's pretty young in the comics as well. And also, I'm not sure if she's technically considered the smartest, but she's like up there in like the smartest of the whole Marvel Comics universe.
I can't wait to talk about that part because I was like diving into like how they figured out how to make her, and it was really cool.
She's so cool.
She's great. But anyways, due to her genius level intellect and incredible engineering skills, she led the Wakandan design group, creating much of Wakanda's modern technology, like the Wakandan maglev train that you see in the movie, like their communication devices, like literally anything that they have that we saw in the movie, she helped develop. Obviously, anything that came before her birth, don't know.
Somebody else.
On the topic of her genius intellect level, she is extraordinarily intelligent despite her young age. Her intelligence marks her as one of the smartest humans in the world. And I'm quoting this based off of not just like the Marvel Wikipedia, but when I was looking back into some of the interviews and stuff with the directors and the writers, they often quoted that her intellect surpasses that of Tony Stark.
Yep.
Which allows her to be in charge of the design group and create a lot of the advanced technology at such a young age. She's a fucking master engineer. She accomplished and like ingeniously prolific engineer. She developed and has overseen so much technology, weaponry, defenses, communications, transportation, her own like energy blast gauntlets in the movie, her brother's new Panther habit suit thing. Yeah. Bucky Barnes's vibranium arm and her usage of advanced technology integrated nanotechnology into the Panther suit, which is why it was in the necklace and all that kind of stuff. And it preceded the genius Tony Stark's 50th armor, like, you know, the one that does in the movie of one of, I think it's Avengers Age of Ultron, someone goes to shoot him with a gun. And, like, he stops it with his hand. Yes. Because within this, like, little piece of technology, it could, like, create the suit from the palm of his hands. Because that's where the blasters and stuff would be. Yeah. So, like, hers surpasses that in a stylish way. Yes. So, again, she's a master scientist. I already said that she's exceptional when it comes to being, like, the head leader of the science division. She was the one who quickly came up with a method to remove the Mind Stone harmlessly from Vision, superior to that of the renowned scientist Bruce Banner. Mm-hmm. Her idea was safer and better. She is bilingual. Obviously, her most fluent language is Wakandian. Her native language is what she's most fluent in, but also Xhosa, Xhosa, as well as English. Cool. Yeah. She's a combatant, although not a Wakandan warrior. And though she may not be very adept at fighting because she's rarely in the front lines, she is nevertheless an excellent fighter on her own right and her own way, at least in the sense that she can display great proficiency with a Wakandan spear. It wasn't shown in the movie, but I believe there was, if you go to like the bonus or like behind the scenes stuff, it shows the actress practicing with it. Yeah. So possibly maybe they were going to show her being able to use it, but that was not shown in the movie. but it is brought up. So possibly in the comics as well, she's really good at it. Mm-hmm. But in the movie, at least, even though she's using, like, her blasters, she's still, like, that's something she made.
Yeah.
And she's putting herself in danger. And she's trying to, like, think strategically on how to defeat her enemy at the time, which is Eric Killmonger in the movie. Like, she's, like, using her blasters to, like, try to get the suit off of him that he took.
Yes.
So for a time, she was doing a really good job, but then she got defeated. But, like, still, she was...
For somebody who's not, like, fighting every day and protected by a super high-tech full-body suit.
Yeah.
Like, she held her own really well.
Especially because she didn't make a suit for herself.
No.
Like her brother that could protect her whole body. She only, in the movie, made her blasters.
Yeah, just, like, last resort kind of things, right?
Yeah. Now I would like to jump into story information for the movie.
Yay.
And about her and that stuff. Alison has seen it, so this isn't news for her, but I still want to talk about it, so whatever.
Yeah, and for anybody on here who hasn't seen it, who hasn't maybe watched it or isn't familiar with the story, then...
It's on Disney+.
Yes, it is on Disney Plus now.
And you can purchase it on YouTube. Or rent it on YouTube as well. They have, like, that movie option, so there's...
Oh, cool.
Those ways, if you want. Or if you have someone who owns it... Mm-hmm. Borrow it from them, because I do think it's a fun ride.
It is a fun ride. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the information I'm about to talk about story-wise are based off of the movies, even though general information included things that were, like, in the movies and the comics.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm going to talk about in terms of, like, her story and how I got to know her and enjoy her is going to be through the movies.
Cool.
I wish I could say I had read the comics, but I'm an advocate for getting the comics legally. And not all the comics and volumes that Shuri has appeared in were available for me to get online due to either region lock restrictions or cost.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I can revisit her, because I do really think she's cool and interesting. And, I mean, we have to wait for a frickin' movie to come out with her in it again, but...
Yeah.
Oh, well. So, the first movie impression that many of us got, I think... Can't say for sure, I'm not you listeners, but in regards to Shuri at least, was when her and T'Challa's mother were waiting for him to arrive in Wakanda after a mission with his bodyguard, but also friend.
Yeah.
And, like, mission companion, badass female spear warrior fighter Okoye.
Yes.
Here we see what Shuri is like as a person just from how she dresses. Unlike her mother, who wears traditional garb, Shuri is definitely more modern and fashion-forward with how she dresses. Definitely trendy for sure, but also functional, as I'm sure a master engineer wants to wear something that isn't...
She can work in.
Yeah, that she can work in, and is also like, hey, I look great.
Yeah.
It's also in this first scene, while she talks to T'Challa, that we find out she is the engineer and scientist behind the EMP beads. And his currently outdated Black Panther outfit. One of the sequences I enjoyed the most in the movie is the mission in Busan. Now, I'm going to describe more in depth what happens at this part in the movie to show what Shuri is capable of doing as a scientist. Yeah. But also her wonderful back and forth between her and her brother. Yeah. So, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the movie... I'm going to describe this scene in particular because it's my favorite.
It's so fun.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
So you've been warned. So shortly before T'Challa went to South Korea with Okoye, and Nakia, his ex-girlfriend, also love interest, also really great, like Wakandan spy warrior woman.
Yes.
To arrest the criminal Ulysses Klie, Shuri brought him to her lab to showcase new equipment that she had developed for him, including sound nullifying boots. And she also told him to bring the remote access Kimoyo beads so that she could assist in the capture of Klie, as she could provide backup for the mission if required, and notified she already sent a car to Busan that would help them, let's just say. Because Shuri doesn't actually go with them to Busan. Yeah. But she's very helpful while they're there. Side note, in the first part of the scene, I think there's a part I really liked it, was when T'Challa was looking at something and was like, oh, what are those? And she's like, more importantly, what are those? And she points to like his traditional open
sandals.
And I just thought that was quite like a good moment early as well, to show kind of like their
sibling bond.
It was cute. So Shuri in this scene proceeded to demonstrate the new upgraded version of Panther habit. That's the new suit. Mm-hmm. I was personally a little confused with why it's called Panther habit, but that's the choice.
Yeah.
So whatever. In the movie, she described to say that the suit was even more reliable than his original design. She further explained that the upgraded versions are made of nanotechnology and can be fit inside the necklace.
Yes.
That most kings of Wakanda and Black Panthers wear. Shuri then asks her brother to kick the suit, which he proceeded to do so. And after placing it back, because he kicked it too hard and sent the mannequin flying.
Yeah.
She explained to him that the suit can absorb kinetic energy and redistribute it. So she ends up asking him to strike the suit in the same spot, and she got her camera ready and innocently claiming it's just for research, and that's why she was recording. So as T'Challa kicked it, he was knocked out by an impact of kinetic energy from his own previous kicks, a scene which Shuri clearly enjoyed.
Yes.
And then T'Challa was immediately ordering Shuri to erase it.
Such a sibling thing to do.
I know, right? So eventually when they do get to Busan, T'Challa's there with Okoye and Nakia, and they're doing their own thing, and Shuri's not really involved quite yet. But when she is called for assistance by T'Challa, much to her enthusiasm, as Klie attempted to escape from the Wakandans, using the remote access Kimoyo beads, Shuri remotely drove a car, which the Black Panther stood on to chase Klie in the streets of Busan, which was, in my opinion, a really fun car chase scene.
Such an awesome car chase scene.
Yeah, it was really good. During that scene, Shuri warned her brother that they would hit other cars, but the Black Panther managed to redirect the car, enabling Shuri to keep driving.
Nice.
Together during the scene, Black Panther and Shuri managed to take down several of Klie's bodyguards, with Shuri even driving over one. Even if she was not fully aware, because she's driving it from the lab, not in Busan. And I remember at this part in the scene when she drives over it, like you see her in the lab like jump up, and she's like, "What did I like?"
Yeah,
she doesn't
what did I
know.
run over?
And I thought that was kind of like cute. As they get caught up, another one of Klie's bodyguards has like a big SUV. Shuri told T'Challa to use the kinetic energy stored in his Panther habit suit to damage their car, and then mocked him for showing off when he successfully did it. Shuri eventually found Klie's car and chased him, but Klie used the cannon on his prosthetic arm, which destroyed the car that Shuri was driving. As a result, the hologram that Shuri could see that displayed what was going on the outside of the car ended in her lab, keeping her from further assisting T'Challa, who nonetheless did apprehend Klie.
Yeah.
But it was like, I thought it was nice. I don't know, because they were like, yeah, she's not going, but she's still going to be very helpful because of the technology she developed that would allow her to still be an asset.
Yeah, insanely smart. Mm-hmm. And just a general fact is that the King of Wakanda made a conscious choice to flank himself with 3 women who are helping him, which is just awesome, because Okoye is amazing, Nakia is amazing, and then his sister is also amazing. He's just surrounded by these
and his
awesome,
mother,
and his mother is just like regal as hell.
A lot of fabulous fictional females.
Oh my gosh, yeah, love just like the freaking amazing representation of women in this movie is just awesome. And obviously Shuri is in there just shining too, and it's such a fun movie. It's great.
I know. So for me, this was the scene that really got me invested in Shuri because, again, I haven't read the Black Panther comics or the issues she appears in, so she was a fresh, quote-unquote, new character to me. Mm-hmm. And I freaking loved her on screen. Yes. And I literally saw the movie 3 times in 2 weeks.
I saw it, I think, twice in theaters, and now I own it. I
love it. It's so fun. It's great. In my opinion, if you don't like it, I don't agree with you, but whatever. So outside of her introduction scene and the mission in Busan, Shuri was present throughout the entire film, and not just as the smart scientist, but also as a fighter alongside her brother, Nakia and Okoye, and during the final battle for Wakanda against Eric Killmonger. She also helped save one of the characters in the movie who had like a spinal injury. Yeah. Because not only is she a scientist, but she also knows how to help with medical stuff too. Yeah. Because science and medicine go hand in hand. Yeah. And I thought that was really neat because it showed more of her capabilities.
Yeah, like she's more than just like a smart scientist. She's good at problem solving. Yeah. She is brave, like
funny.
And she's funny. She's so funny.
I think she's very funny. And anyways, I just really want people to watch it if they haven't. It's a great movie.
It's such a fun movie.
I know we keep saying it, but it's like it felt very fresh to me. Yeah. Even if maybe for some Marvel movies are formulaic. Yeah. You can kind of like anticipate when certain things are coming. I like really enjoyed the movie so much. Yeah. It was fun.
My one issue with Marvel is that they don't really understand like the less is more concept. So I think that the entire movie, like, it really held it together. But then there are a couple scenes where they go really over the top with, like, the CGI and certain things, which kind of almost brings you out of it. Like, there's one scene where Black Panther is, like, falling down a cavern while fighting Killmonger at the same time. And it just, like, the overabundance of CGI really kind of pulls you away from such a great story. And, like, the villain in the movie is really... You can understand where he's coming from and why it is he's doing those things. And there's a lot of moral gray area in the movie. And, like, it's a very well-written movie. And it's kind of unfortunate that Marvel's like, but we gotta, like, Marvel it up. We gotta make it all, like, crazy in CGI, when I think that they could have trusted this movie to stand on the story and the strength of the characters. But... that's my only gripe about the movie. The characters are fucking fabulous. And the story is great. And it is a fun romp. Yes. It is so fun. And I'm sorry if you missed it on the big screen, because holy was it fun to watch on the big screen.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Which, who knows when we're ever going to get to watch movies on the big screen.
Who knows? I'm not going for a long while. Now I would like to go into reasons why I like her. Yeah. So I really like her for her youthful energy, her sense of style. She has a snarky sense of humor. Yeah. And the fact that she's one of, if not the smartest person in the MCU, make her very fascinating. Yeah. And I know sometimes Marvel will be like, oh, this person is the smartest in the MCU. So I really don't fucking know who is the smartest in the MCU, because I feel like there's a lot of characters where they're like, they're the smartest. It's like in that timeline, or is that fact right now? Is it while they're alive they're the smartest? Like, yeah. I don't fully know who truly is, but she's listed as being, like, part of that list of... one of the smartest. Yeah. So I think the character deserves to get a lot of character development in the future, outside of just maybe Black Panther 2, because I know that was in the works, but again, I don't know anymore.
Was she in Endgame?
Briefly. Yeah. Briefly. And to be honest, I was actually very disappointed she wasn't in the Avengers movie much after. Yeah. I know things happen, and Thanos snapped a lot of people out of existence, and she was one of them. But I would have loved to see her work alongside Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. Yeah. In the rest of the Endgame movie.
Yeah, and I think to put on my judgmental hat for a moment, I think the fact that they took out both of their arguably most well-known black characters in the snap is a little problematic.
Because it was T'Challa and Shuri. Okoye stayed because she's the one that saw T'Challa.
Yeah, so like Okoye stayed, but it's like she's not...
They didn't really have
She's
her
not
do
necessarily usable in the storyline, whereas if they had kept Shuri, she could have helped in the storyline. They could have used her in that way. And, like, I feel like that was maybe a little misstep. I have other missteps, but we're not going to talk about those today. But I think that it would have been really cool if they had kept her, but hindsight, 2020, all that fun stuff. It would have been great,
because two older adult men past their prime, to be fair. Like, they're past their prime in End of Game. Seeing this youthful black woman who could totally go toe-to-toe with Tony in the snarky sense of humor and comebacks division, but also, like...
I would have loved to see those two, like, bounce off of each other.
And then I would have loved to see her with Bruce Banner, because I don't think... Again, we haven't seen too much of her, but she doesn't seem like she's the type of person who would be like, all your ideas fucking suck. I can do it better. She doesn't have that attitude, in my opinion. I think if she had seen something, again, like she improved the reason for they could remove Vision's stone safely. I feel like she would just be like, hey, can I look at this? I think I might be able to help. Like, I feel like she would come from a genuine place of like, we're working together. I'm not trying to show off that I'm better than you and I'm younger than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I know that kind of the theme of so many of like the Avengers movies and so many of the Marvel movies have kind of been like, weirdly enough, Tony Stark's trauma. But
I get it. Like Iron Man did make the movie series boom.
Yeah, Iron Man is it's the reason why it's there, and like the Endgame movie was very much so about him finally being at rest, but I do think that there was room for a little bit more
they kept
diversity and
100% because they kept what was quote unquote like the core Avengers, which I get. They were in a lot of the things,
and they have contracts and blah 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 and all that other stuff that's beyond just story that we talk about, right?
But like, I don't know, Ant-Man came in like way later, and he had a big... Not that I don't love Paul Rudd, but like he came in later, and I'm like, you're telling me Black Panther, you couldn't keep... Even for like a single scene where they go back in time and she's there to help them. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't even go to fucking Wakanda when they were doing the time jumping bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm getting really heated up. I don't want to.
No. Well, especially...
I'm not going to.
No.
Calm my tits.
Calm them.
I need to be calm.
But things that they could have done better aside, because,
in our opinion,
we're sitting here like, oh, it would have been so simple, but it's like there's always more to the story.
There is. They have directors and writers and head honchos that they have to, like, I know it's not always just like fucking do it. Like sometimes they could. They generally sometimes just could say, I'm gonna fucking do it. But I feel like with Marvel and Disney, and there's a lot of tape that seems like a maze of which tape do we cut.
But I do hope that they do more with her character. I do hope that they see that there's so much potential in her character.
100%.
I think it's at the end of the Black Panther movie when he makes her like the liaison to America, basically, and they put it in like a lower income kind of neighborhood and stuff too, so that they can actually start working towards those things that like Killmonger wanted to change, but he was maybe going about it in the wrong way. And so it was really cool to see her get to then lead other people forward and like share her like knowledge and stuff and make the world a better place, which is so cute and I love.
So the scene that Alison's talking about, which I wasn't going to touch on exactly, but I did, like, it's in my head. It has actually a really great quote that I want to read, and I did write it down and like write in some quotes I like. But at one point, T'Challa is taking Shuri to Oakland, which is like the place in California where Killmonger and like that whole background. I don't want to dive too into it if you go to watch it, but it explains kind of like why Killmonger is who he is in the movie. Mm-hmm. But she says to T'Challa, "When you said you were going to bring me to California for the first time, I thought you meant Coachella or Disneyland." It's just like, yeah. But in the scene, T'Challa informs Shuri that he bought like that section of where everything was happening with Eric Killmonger's father, and how there was like the idea that this building was where like a murderer and a murder happened within their family. T'Challa replied to her that he bought it and that he would make it the first Wakandan International Outreach Center, and he appointed Shuri the head of the Science and Information Exchange there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was such a good scene. That was such a nice way to, like, end that movie, too. Just to be like, yeah, like, all of these problems that have been, like, put before us, we should help. And we have the power to. And clearly they have the technology, too. Mm-hmm. So, it's super awesome.
Okay. Anyways, I personally enjoy Letitia Wright as well.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to see more of her movies, actually, that I want to briefly touch on, outside of just her portrayal of Shuri. Just a quick, like, little plug for her, because I think she's great.
She's so cool.
Dun, dun, dun. She's actually going to be in the movie Death on the Nile.
Oh.
Which comes out in October of this year, 2020. Not sure how anyone's going to watch it yet. But it's like a murder mystery movie.
Yeah, I think it's like a follow-up or a sequel to like Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes.
I think, something like that.
I don't know if it's a sequel, because I feel like it would be titled... I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's with the same detective in the movie that solved.
Poirot.
Yeah. Anyways, she's in it. I don't know what role she has, but I'm excited. I'm like, oh, here she goes.
Yes.
And I just, I like Shuri a lot, and I know that there are a lot more things about her in the comics, but I don't want to just like read all the information about it and not like read it and experience it and go through it. But I genuinely think that she is a really great character, and though sometimes she might not at first, like if someone was to ask me who my favorite fictional female character is, she's not going to be the first person that comes to my mind, but that doesn't mean I don't think she's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Because she is really, really cool. And I like the fact that she's not combat focused, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like sometimes when discussing really great, fabulous fictional female characters for Marvel, a lot of the times they have a lot of badass physical qualities to them.
Yeah.
Like Alison talked about Thor.
Yes.
And though the lady, Jane Foster, I said it right?
Yeah.
Okay, I mind blanked and I was like, did I fuck up? Is intellectually like super fucking dope. She's going through cancer and all that other stuff, but like she becomes this physically strong, like beefy woman who's just like, oh, you're also smart and a beefy woman. But she's just like, I don't know, I appreciate knowing about characters that don't have to be all of the good things in a fabulous fictional female, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I really value her for the fact that she can fight, but it's apparent that a lot of her really great skills early on are showing how smart and compassionate and funny she is. Yeah,
and the movie shows, as far as the three main female characters go, they show this broad range of different personalities and attitudes.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously we have Shuri, but then you have Nakia, who is clearly, like, she's very smart. She's a spy. She is also smart in ways of, like, politics, and she's a humanitarian, and she does so much stuff like that, and she has such a kindness to her.
Yeah.
But then we have Okoye, who is statuesque and, like, strong, and she fights with her spear, and she has her head shaved, and she has, like, markings on her skin to show that she is a warrior and, like, she is loyal. So you have all of these different versions of womanhood, and it's a really cool example, and she gets to be, like, a different version, because there are, like, so many.
I know. It's like the real world.
It's almost like women are people.
We all know women are people, but yeah.
I'm just being facetious.
Thanks, Alison. But yeah, I wish I had... Okay, I know there's more I could genuinely have to tell you listeners about her, but in terms of the movie, it is, even though she's prominent in it and she's not a character that you only see for like a couple scenes and then she's gone, it is a movie about T'Challa and Wakanda, and I hope we can get more of her in the future because
she's awesome.
She's really cool.
And Fonda has emotions.
I'm just really upset she wasn't in Endgame. I'm gonna be so like she was.
Just so
at the very fucking end of the movie, she came back with T'Challa through a portal and they all fought Thanos. But she was, you know what I mean? She wasn't fucking there, and
yeah, I know. I feel you. I
just really wanted it.
We just want more.
We just fuck. So
yeah,
and like her,
and more of like easily consumable content, because that is the unfortunate part about comics, is that it does involve time and it does involve money, whereas like
it's not as
quick
easily
watching
to pick up.
Like a quick watching of a movie to get a story of a character, like, and to get a little bit more into who they are is so much easier. So yeah, the accessibility of her in that movie is really nice.
Yeah. Okay, I got really emotional near the end, and I want to pick it back up and be positive. Ha, ha, ha. So, Alison, here's where I normally ask you what it is that you're excited about, but I would really like to quickly say what I'm excited about in life before I ask you. Is that fine?
Yeah.
I got a dog! I've had her for like, since September 6th. So if you're listening, depending when this comes out, it's going to be a while. But for me, it is very exciting.
Yes.
Her name is San, and she's a rescue. She's a Korean Jindo, and she's 6 years old. And I love her so much.
She's so sweet.
She's so great. And I just wanted to quickly tell people about it.
She's such a sweetheart.
Oh, I'm gonna post a photo of her when this airs.
Yes, do it.
I will. No one will understand why, but I will. Anyways, Alison, before we end off the show, what are you excited about?
So I'm excited because when we are recording this, we are nearing the end of September, and that means that next month is October.
Yeah.
And I am a huge fan of like Halloween and like the spooky fall season. I'm very sad that Halloween is kind of seeming like it's canceled this year, but that doesn't matter because all I do on Halloween is like put on some sort of animal onesie, make my dog dress up like a bee, which she hates, and I watch horror movies with my partner. So I'm excited not only about that, but I'm also going to get Shudder for a little while. Basically the horror version of Netflix. Because I have gotten like really into old horror movies. Most recently, we watched the movie Candyman, the original, and also an old one called Phantasm, which I believe I have mentioned before because this is the movie that inspired the outfit of Phasma from Star Wars.
Yes.
And watching these movies, I realized something weird about why it is that like new movies don't have that same look as old movies. And it's because old movies have normal looking people in them. Like in new movies, everybody is fucking gorgeous. Like everybody is beautiful. They are all attractive. They are all thin. And then you go and you watch old movies and you're just like, in Phantasm specifically, one of the main characters has a skullet. He is like bald on top with a ponytail and like a completely normal looking dude, like an average dude you'd see on the street. And it's just like, yeah. I'm like, this is what I'm missing. I didn't realize this is what I was missing because like you know in old movies who your main characters are because they are the beautiful ones.
Yeah.
Normally.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is just kind of average and normal. But like now, yeah, everybody in like movies and television, everything, like even the background characters, they're all really pretty. So I've been enjoying watching old movies, and like, yeah, at the end of watching Phantasm, I just kind of looked at Nick and I was like, so one of the main guys had a ponytail? And he's like, yeah, that was a choice. That
was a choice.
It was a fun movie. It was weird. It was a really fucking weird movie.
I'm glad you like scary things, because the extent I can go is
listening to me talk about
listening to you talk about it. Or if we play a tabletop game where the extent is my own imagination and I can stop it wherever I want.
Yeah.
Wakanda!
You can find us wherever podcasts can be found. Please make sure to rate, review, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram at wenchbenchpod. And if you want to reach out, you can send us an email at wenchbenchpod@gmail.com. All of the art for the Wench Bench was designed by the wonderful Tessa Joyce Riecken. You can find her on Twitter at Werevile. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Wakanda forever.
Nick is sneezing.
Oh no! Oh no! I breathed in, and like, when you breathe in and all of a sudden your throat is like, you're tickling me.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
You tickled me.